What's up everyone, this is ElvisLifts and welcome back to another video. So I recently got a question. Basically a person asked me to do a video about injuries, and I haven't really talked about that a lot, so we will do that in this video. So I will split it in 3 parts. The part number 1 will be what is my injury history, so what type of injuries I've had, the small ones and the big ones. Then we're going to talk about how to avoid injuries. And lastly, we're going to talk about how to deal with injury that you already have. So let's begin with the part 1. What is my injury history? And to be honest, I had only one serious injury, and even that for some people wouldn't be serious, but for me, I think it was enough serious that it stalled my progress and made me rethink about injuries and training in general. And that was my shoulder injury, left shoulder injury, a rotator cuff injury. How it happened? I did muscle ups, and I did it for video. I wanted to do 100 reps in one single workout, which is a lot. And when you do muscle up, I was heavy already. If you're heavy, you're more likely to get injured in body weight exercises. It's like doing very heavy weights in squats and deadlifts, but you're doing your body weight, and the higher the body weight, the more likely you are to get injured. So being lean and being light is always beneficial to avoid injury. But yeah, I did 100 reps, and the problem was obviously the reps, they kind of get to you over time, but also the problem was when I was descending from the muscle up, it's explosive movement. You explode up and then you go down also fast, because I did 5 sets, 5 reps in one set, and you're kind of in that fast groove and you don't think about it and you just descend very quickly. And when you do that, it kind of puts a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And by doing that 100 times in one workout, in one day, without any rest, it was too much. And I heard a crack, like that kind of sound, and that was it. And the crazy thing is, actually, that happened at around 70 or 80 rep. So it was not even at the end of the workout. It was close to the end, but not the end. I actually continued my training, and that is a big time problem. It's good to be dedicated, it's good to be driven and motivated and do the workouts intensely and so on, obviously, but you need to know your limits and you need to be smart about it. And continuing training when something like that happens is definitely not the way to go, so I don't ever recommend it. If you hear a sound like that or anything, instantly quit the workout, stop it. And yeah, that was my biggest injury. It took about 4 months to heal up, and I couldn't do any push-ups, not even 1 rep. When I did push-up, it hurt. I couldn't do any pushing movements, so I excluded pushing days altogether from my workout routine. So I did only pull days and legs and abs. But I was lucky enough that I could do pull-ups and so on, because it did help with the healing process, in my opinion, because you're getting the blood flow into the shoulder. And I did a lot of rear delt exercises, which is also blood flow to the shoulder, and I also did rotator cuff strengthening exercises with a very light weights, a little band here and there, and kind of strengthened the muscles there, and I recovered. Also did a scan, and I went to the doctor, and they didn't find anything, and they recommended me to do basically a therapy, so exercises like I did. We actually started doing them before they told me, so I was on the right track. And that was the most biggest injury that I had. And you have to be very careful and don't push your limits. So let's move on to the before we move on, the smaller injuries. Maybe you're interested in that, but I had elbow pain, the golfer elbow, the tennis elbow. Most people know what I'm talking about. Some wrist pain also from muscle ups, because when you're doing muscle ups, your wrist is in not very natural position, especially if you're a beginner. If you just started to master them, you haven't perfected the form. It's definitely also the problem with a lot of volume, a lot of reps. One thing that I can tell you 100%, certain is that all the injuries that I had was from too much volume, too many reps in one workout. Completely all injuries. I haven't had a problem with too heavy weights. Everything that I ever gotten injury of was too much volume. And it could also be too frequent workouts. Let's say you do 50 muscle ups in one workout and the next day you do the same. You are not letting the ligaments, the joints, everything, you don't give them enough time to rest and properly fix themselves. And that is big time problem. So that's why a proper training program is necessary for each individual, and you need to know your fitness level and your limits. Obviously, I do coaching, so you can reach me out on my email elvislifts@gmail.com, and I can help you with that if you need any help or advice. And I had the elbow pains, but that usually went away after 1 week of skipping. Let's say I got also from 1000 push-ups, also for a video I did in the very beginning of my channel. I did a 1K sub special where I did 1000 push-ups, and after that my elbow hurt for a very long time. I would say for 3 weeks or so, and it's not a serious injury, but it definitely was an inflammation because of too many reps. So definitely try to avoid doing too much volume. Yeah, you can do a lot of volume if you're used to it, if your body is adapted to it. But if you're not, I know a lot of people who, let's say, watches some motivational video, let's say, for example, David Goggins video. I am a big fan of him, and they go run for 20 kilometers randomly. They never run a lot, and they just go and injure themselves. And that is because your body is not used to it. You can't just go 100% heavy, 100% all in the volume if you're not used to it. It takes gradual build-up, and that is the most important thing with the injuries. And so let's move on to the second point, how to avoid injury. I already touched on that a little bit, and yeah, the most important thing is planning, eating a good nutritious food that will also help strengthening, helping with the ligaments, with the joints. All the vitamins, minerals, they help. If you're eating junk food all the time, candy and stuff, I mean, that food doesn't really help you fight off injuries. Let's say the bones. When you're running, it takes a lot of pressure. I actually had a stress fracture in my left foot from running too much. And let's say if you have a good diet, there's a higher chance that that won't happen because you're giving your bones enough vitamin. There's a lot of vitamins that strengthen bones. So if you have a good diet, you're more likely not to get injured. But if your diet's bad, obviously you're not getting enough vitamins and your bones are more fragile, more weak. And that is just one example. There are tons of them. So diet, sleep, proper training program, proper volume is excellent way to avoid injury, and those are the reasons. And you have to be smart, you have to be careful. Sometimes when you go into the workouts, you're so hyped up, you're so into the groove, you stop thinking carefully. You always have to think, let's say, okay, I have planned this and that. Is this not too much volume? Is this enough volume? Because sometimes actually, let's say I do 100 pull-ups and I feel, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit weird in shoulder or something, then I just stop. There's no need to push yourself beyond limits all the time. What is very, very important is to be consistent. It's not about doing one workout insanely hard and then you're done. It's about being consistent over days, weeks, months and years. That is what is important, not the one insane workout and then you get injured and so on. So being consistent is key. And let's move on to the last point, the third, how to deal with injury if it already happened. Well, I already touched upon it a little bit, but how to deal with it is most likely a rest. If it's not a serious injury, the rest should be fine. Eating plenty good foods, having sleep, maybe put some ice on it to reduce inflammation. and having a little bit stretches here and there, maybe some light, very light work, like 1 kilogram dumbbell or something, just to get the blood flow into the muscle, or try to work around the injury. By, let's say, how I had the shoulder injury, but I could still do pull-ups, I could still hit rear delts, but I couldn't do push-ups. So most likely I had the rotator cuff has 4 parts, and most likely the part that was injured wasn't affected by doing rear delts or pull-ups. And so if you can work around and get the blood flow into that place, that's an excellent way to recover. And I also was very careful. I was always making sure I'm not digging the hole deeper. So you have to really think about that. So that would be very important to avoid injury and deal with it. And what can I also say is, basically I already summed it up pretty nicely. Don't want to make video too long. If you have any more specific questions, just let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if your injury is very serious and it's not getting better, for example, if you skip a workout for a month or so, just go to the doctor, talk with the professionals, do some scans, do some research, figure out what has happened to you, and after that evaluate the situation and make sure that you're doing everything in your power to recover as fast as possible so you can make more progress in the future. So, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, I have the email down in the description box down below, so contact me if you feel like you need to. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video, and I see you guys in the next one.